So Donald Trump and the MAGA leaders in his movement are freaking out about this data of early voting that's coming in. That's that women are voting at a much significantly higher percentage than men. As Jim Kessler puts it, 14 million Americans have voted early in the 7 swing states. 1,387,977 more women have voted there than men. 55.1% to 44.9%. But the gender turnout gap grew by 101,929 since earlier in the week. Gender turnout gap is plus 13% in Pennsylvania, plus 12% in Michigan, plus 12% in Georgia, plus 11% in North Carolina, plus 8% in Wisconsin. The gender gap is pretty unprecedented. So what's Donald Trump and these MAGA leaders doing as they're freaking out? They're attacking women, of course. So here you have just a bunch of messages from these MAGA leaders like Nick Fuentes. If Trump loses, blame women. Tom Cox. That's why I make my wife do a mail-in ballot so I can make sure she votes for Trump. She's not going to vote behind my back. Charlie Kirk, one of Donald Trump's main leaders of his Gen Z outreach and one of the main leaders in the MAGA movement in general, says, early vote has been disproportionately female. If men stay at home, Kamala is president. It's that simple. If you want a vision of the future, if you don't vote, imagine Kamala's voice cackling forever. Men need to go out and vote now. Cernovich, one of the big Trump leaders in the movement, says, male turnout in Pennsylvania for Trump has been a disaster. Unless this changes, Kamala Harris takes Pennsylvania and it's over. So then Charlie Kirk goes on the Megyn Kelly show, who Donald Trump famously said that she's bleeding out of your you-know-what when he didn't like a question that she asked him during the debate. And as our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski puts it, Charlie Kirk is very upset that Republican women may undermine their husbands and secretly vote for Harris while telling their husbands they voted for Trump, even though the husband works his tail off to make sure that she can have a nice life. Here's what Donald Trump's top surrogate, Charlie Kirk, had to say. Play the clip.
And she needs people to basically lie to their husbands, which they are promoting, by the way, which I find that entire advertising campaign so repulsive. It is so disastrous. It is just like
I'll show it in a minute.
It is the embodiment of the downfall of the American family. I think it's so gross. I think it's so just nauseating where this wife is wearing you'll show it, wearing the American hat. She's coming in with her sweet husband who probably works his tail off to make sure that she can go, and have a nice life and provide for the family. And then she lies to him saying, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. And then she votes for Kamala Harris as her little secret in the voting booth. Kamala Harris and her team believe that there will be millions of women that undermine their husbands. And do so in a way that it's not detectable in the polling.
And one of the things that Donald Trump said in Green Bay, Wisconsin, as he was oddly dressed in a garbage man outfit, is he said that he says, women, whether you like it or not, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to force myself upon you. And whether you like it or not, I'm telling you I'm your protector. So be quiet, because I'm your protector, whether you like it or not. It's actually what Donald Trump said during his speech, wearing this weird garbage man outfit. What the hell's going on? Here he is saying it. Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign put out the following ad. Here, play this clip.
They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say. I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. 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 I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
Also, one of the things that I think is significant that we're all seeing that maybe the Charlie Kirks of the world are cool with, maybe, I don't know. Stories like this breaking every day. Another former beauty pageant has come forward, joining dozens of other women, saying Donald Trump molested her. that Donald Trump started grabbing her body parts. He forced himself upon her, and that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein would always talk about all of the parties that they wanted her to go to, and that they kept on saying that they would pay for her to travel and go to all of these places. Here's the story by the Daily Mail. By the way, the Daily Mail's no like liberal paper, let's be very clear. And they go, beauty queen claims Donald Trump groped her after luring her back to his suite at the New York Plaza Hotel. Donald Trump jumped on a blonde 6'1" model and groped her while she tried to fight him off at a beauty pageant in 1993, the woman told Josh Boswell, the author of the article. She also said that Donald Trump was working with Jeffrey Epstein to recruit her and other young women to go to parties at Mar-a-Lago. Disgusting. And as you know, Donald Trump was very, best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump, everyone's like, oh, the Epstein list, whose name's on it? Donald Trump's. The main name on the Epstein list is Donald Trump. He's on the call logs, the flight logs, the deposition transcripts, all over, because they were best friends. Jeffrey Epstein found the girls, a lot of them, to traffic at Mar-a-Lago. Virginia Giuffre, for example, worked at Mar-a-Lago. Ghislaine Maxwell, who did the kind of scouting for the trafficking operation, would go to Mar-a-Lago, hang with Trump, find a girl, bring her to Epstein. Donald Trump wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. It's sick stuff. Sick stuff. And Donald Trump's been found liable for sexual assault. Here's a major trend that's going viral on TikTok. Young Gen Z women listening to Donald Trump brag about how he loves molesting women, right? Donald Trump, in his own words, said that he loves grabbing women by their vaginas. He says that he grabs their vaginas all the time without consent. And when you're rich and famous like him, he says the women let you do it. They let you molest them if you're wealthy like he is. And so the Gen Z young women listen to this and they react to it and they say, seriously, this is who fathers with daughters are voting for? And as a father with a daughter, I want to cry sometimes when I listen to this stuff. I don't know how anybody could support such a sicko, such a deviant, such a predator. Play this clip.
I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it. I did try and fuck her. She was married.
That's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy. Yeah. No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there. And she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I got to use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything.
Pull the ham.
Now I want you to watch this as well because Donald Trump continues to humiliate Nikki Haley over and over again. I mean, Nikki Haley, I think, has, just done such a disservice to herself by saying that she would want to help Donald Trump even after he said the most horrific things about her. But he wants to put her through a humiliation ritual. So Donald Trump, get away, Nikki Haley. I don't want you anywhere near my campaign. I don't want your supporters anywhere near my campaign. You're banned from the MAGA movement. Get out, Donald Trump said. And so Nikki Haley went on Fox recently to trash the Trump campaign and says that you're not reaching out to me, you're not reaching out to women, and women are going to vote for Kamala Harris now because they know that you're a sicko and they know who you are. What are you doing? Here's what Nikki Haley had to say. Play the clip.
The Associated Press says as Democrats court Haley supporters, the former UN ambassador is still waiting to hear from Trump. When was the last time you talked to the former president?
Last time I talked to him was back in June.
So are you surprised that you haven't been deployed out to campaign, or have you volunteered to go out and campaign for him directly?
I mean, they're very aware that we're on standby. They know that we would be there to help. I've helped with some fundraising letters and text messages and those types of things. So we've done that. But look, we're on the same team. It is their campaign's decision on what he needs in these last final days. It does not bother me at all. I think they need to do what they need to do to get across the finish line. I just think that they need to focus primarily on who it is they're talking to. You've got Americans who are absolutely going to vote for Trump. You've got Americans who are absolutely not going to vote for Trump. And then you've got a percentage in the middle who like Trump policies but don't like his style. That is what they need to focus on. So when you look at these things, it has got to be a story of addition. This is not a time to have anyone criticize Puerto Rico or Latinos. This is not a time for them to get overly masculine with this bromance thing that they've got going. 53% of the electorate are women. Women will vote. They care about how they're being talked to, and they care.
And, you know, just to remind you what Donald Trump would say about Nikki Haley during the primaries, Donald Trump would attack the dresses that Nikki Haley wore and said that it's probably not so fancy, and then would curse at her. Play this clip.
I felt I should do this because I find in life you can't let people get away with bullshit, okay? You can't. You just can't do that. And when I watched her in the fancy dress that probably wasn't so fancy come up, I said, what's she doing? We won. And she did the same thing last week, but he was much more angry about it than I was. I said, get up there and you let him know.
One of the things Donald Trump's also doing is he's been holding press conferences where he attacks the victims who he sexually assaulted, the women who allege that he sexually assaulted them. And so here's Donald Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, who just beclowns herself every day. But at the recent press conference Donald Trump held, he was going through the list of women who allege he sexually assaulted them. And Donald Trump would say, she's not the chosen one for me to sexually assault because she's not good looking enough. She's not the chosen one. I would not sexually assault her based on her looks. He uses the language, not the chosen one. Listen in his own words and watch Alina Habba's reaction as Donald Trump says it. Let's play it.
I know you're going to say it's a terrible thing to say, but it couldn't have happened. It didn't happen. And she would not have been the chosen one. She would not have been the chosen one. She has gone around for years saying the story. Everywhere I go, she says this story. And it's a total lie. Now.
And then, of course, there's Donald Trump giving speeches and talking about being urinated on by hookers. That's one of the things he says in his stump speech. In addition to talking about the size of Arnold Palmer's penis, and that Donald Trump thinks that Arnold Palmer has a great big penis, Donald Trump says. He also talks about how he doesn't like getting pissed on or urinated on by hookers, prostitutes, because he's a germaphobe. So he tells his wife, I don't like getting peed on, not my thing. Play the clip.
He was with 4 hookers. You think that was good that night to go up and tell my wife, it's not true, darling, I love you very much? It's not true. Actually, that one she didn't believe because she said he's a germaphobe. He's not into that, you know? He's not into golden showers, as they say they call that. He's not. I don't like that idea. No, I didn't. I thought that would be a big problem. I was going to have a rough night, but that one she was very good on. She said, no.
By the way, he gave that speech in a high school to high school kids. That was in an Iowa high school where he talks about getting peed on by hookers and that he doesn't like it as part of his campaign for the presidency of the United States of America. Wake up. Just wake up, people. What's he do? He's talking about getting peed on by hookers in a campaign. Have your depths of depravity know no bounds where that's like, oh, I got Donald Trump is being talking about getting pissed on by. What are you talking about? What look yourself in the mirror. By the way, here's Don Jr., calling his daughter sexy. Play this clip.
Guy, what do you think? Getting makeup make me look sexy like you?
I think you look very beautiful.
Thank you, Kai. I'm glad you think I look very beautiful. I don't do this often, but in HD, you better do it.
Right, right.
I'm just excited for Kai's first speech, where she chose a very large venue to get out there. She's going to crush it. I love you, Kai.
Here's what he had to say about Ivana.
She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that
If I weren't happily married and, you know, her father.
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
It's
She's
unbelievable.
tall. She's almost 6 feet.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
There she is. That's where Donald Trump's first wife is buried. In the swamp. He threw her body in a swamp. Yeah, Donald Trump's first wife buried in the swamp backlot area of Bedminster. Unmarked grave. So Donald Trump could potentially get tax credits. This is a disgusting person. Anyway, share this video with women in your life. Share this video with men who care about women in their life. If you're a man, the hell are you, and you support that guy? Shame on you. Shame on you. And if you're on the fence, honestly, shame on you too. Get out there. Vote. Save this country. Be freaking normal. Be normal. Act like normal human beings here. Grow up. Let's do this thing. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers together.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.